I'm Nicolette Radparvar, Miss Florida Collegiate America, and this is my interview with the pageant project.
Hello, everyone. It's Adrian from the Pageant Project. My special guest for today is Nicolette Radparvar, all the way over in Florida. Nicolette, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Now, I forgot to tell everyone who you are. So, you are Miss Florida Collegiate America. And just for the people at home and those listening, I'll read out Nicolette's bio so you can get the. Why is this camera of mine not focusing? Anyway, you don't need to see me. I'll fix it in a sec. But let me read out Nicolette's bio for you. So, Nicolette is a 21-year-old author, broadcast journalism student, and the reigning Miss Florida Collegiate America from Tampa, Florida. She is a senior at the University of Tampa, graduating with honors in communications and public relations, and aims to become an influential news anchor. As Miss Florida Collegiate America, her mission is to empower and instill confidence in students of all ages while spreading awareness about Miss High School America's national platform, B.R.A.V.E, so B.R.A.V.E, building respect and values for everyone. In 2021, she created Confidence to Be Kind, a program aimed at promoting kindness in schools through hands-on activities that also boost students' confidence. And she recently published her third book, which she has there, I think, as part of her anti-bullying series titled Bella the Brave. She's excited to compete for the prestigious title of Miss Collegiate America this summer in Little Rock, Arkansas. And you can find her on Instagram.com, Miss Florida Collegiate America, which is right there. So, Nicolette, that was quite a bio. How have you been? What's happening in Florida?
Everything's been good. Florida, same old, same old. I'm just doing my schoolwork and getting ready to graduate, as well as making an impact with my title as Miss Florida Collegiate. Busy, busy schedule, but looking forward to the rest of my journey this year.
How does it feel being about to graduate? Does that mean you're about to kick yourself into the real world?
Yes, but I'm also thinking about going back to school for a little bit, possibly getting a real estate license. We'll see where it goes right after graduation. But it's a bittersweet feeling because, it's coming to an end. I'm excited there's no more homework. I hate homework, but it's also the time where I have to become an adult, get a big girl job, and, move away from all my friends because we're all going to be going our separate ways, which is super sad, but I kind of don't like to think about it. But besides that, I'm pretty excited for what's to come after graduation.
Are you just focusing on graduation, or have you given any thought to like what's the likelihood of going back to school, or maybe getting your first job and like pursuing the news anchor route? Like how much thought have you given to it, or you just focus on graduating first?
A lot of thought. I think that my
Okay.
parents have a big part in, making sure that I'm on track to graduate, but also on track for a career. So right now I'm doing one of my classes. It's kind of a class and a job all in one. It's called UTTV, where it's my university's television broadcast station that's
Oh wow.
available on YouTube. And we have these packages that prepare us to send out to stations if that's what we want to pursue. And considering that, this is something I want to do for the rest of my life, it's also setting me up to send these packages out that I'm able to create those connections with news anchors and they're able to see, what I can do, being a multimedia journalist, like out on the scene, but also behind the screen with doing
Mhm.
news anchoring. So they get the best of both worlds, but I'm also excited that I was able to have this opportunity provided by my college.
Was that like when actors send out show reels? Is that a
Yeah.
similar sort of concept? So you're sending out clips of you reading out news items and things like that?
Yeah. So with these packages, basically we're being news reporters for all the problems that, are on campus that we bring
All
awareness
right.
about. I actually just posted on their Instagram and their YouTube. I did a story about our Spartan card issues. With Spartans is like our mascot. So our cards that scan us into buildings, we're having a lot of issues with our communication students. So I did a story on that and, how to resolve it for those students who are struggling with their Spartan cards. So that was really exciting that I was able to take a problem and really be able to solve it, but also produce a good package where students who may not be
Mm.
able to get that information elsewhere can watch it and see what they can do to fix their problem with their Spartan card, which is pretty exciting. I love producing packages.
So I know a lot of pageant girls want to get on TV, and a lot of them would like to be either news anchors or sports commentators or things like that. So in your case, how did you get involved? So it was through your college club, you said.
Yeah. So I didn't know I really wanted to 100% do broadcast journalism until my junior year. I was dead set on public relations as it is my minor. So I was like,
Yeah.
I'm just going to do that. I'm going to be satisfied. And then a lot of my friends and even my parents were like, we were passing news station. They were like, Nicolette, like, I think I could see you there. And I'm like, no, I don't think I can ever do it. But I was like afraid of not being able to read off a teleprompter. That was literally my reason. And then I took a class last year called Studio TV, where I was able to learn how to do production
Yeah.
and behind the scenes stuff with producing shows, not even just, multimedia journalism packages, but actually producing a live segment of a news story and also like talk shows, whatever the case may be.
Wow.
So when I was able to finally read off a teleprompter for the first time, I was like, okay, it's not that bad. I can actually see myself doing this and I don't
Yeah.
feel uncomfortable, which I'm really happy that my college was giving me that opportunity to get out of my comfort zone, but also face that fear up front and realize that it was just all in my head the whole time, which
Yeah.
I'm really excited that I was able to do that, and then that's what led me to now wanting to pursue a career in broadcast journalism.
Okay, so for the girls watching who maybe want to pursue a similar path to yourself, and I know you haven't broken into the industry yet, but you're on your way. What are the most enjoyable parts? Like, what are the best parts, and what are the most challenging parts about, let's say, being a news anchor from your experience?
So, one of the best things, I think is, getting those stories and also being able to produce them and because like I said, the influencer news anchor part was really being able to take those stories and bring them to life and like spread awareness about them, whatever the case
Mm.
may be, where it's, something as simple as, oh, this is what's going on in Florida or, breaking news. I think that's super fun being able to go down your community and, find out what's going on and producing packages. But I think one of the most challenging parts is, putting it's a lot of work to put into it. I'm really happy right now that I have 2 people in my group that we take turns, reporter, editor, and, actually producing behind the scenes of the camera and recording everything. But
Yeah.
when you're on the scenes as a multimedia journalist, it's all you. You have no staff helping you, you're by yourself, and you have to
Oh,
put
wow.
the camera up, you have to make sure that my professor, it's like a love-hate, but, he's very nitpicky. But it prepares me now, so then when I get out in the field, when my boss is like, trying to be nitpicky, I'm like, "All right, I'm used to this. I got this." So, I think the most hardest part, yes, is, doing this by yourself. Because when you're thrown out
Yeah.
into the field in the beginning, they won't have a team with you. It's literally just you in the van, riding around, recording stuff, getting interviews. It's all you. So that's something that's
Wow.
scary that I'm a little scared about, but at the same time, doing these classes now and,
Yeah.
creating those opportunities now will prepare me for having to do that in the future.
That is really tough. I have some experience. I used to do these interviews in person, and I would have a three camera setup, and then you need to mic people up for sound. And you're always worried because you have to be in front of the camera. You're always worried that the camera has stopped shooting, or the battery has run out, or the audio is not getting captured correctly. So for you guys to be doing it all yourself, that's tough.
Yeah, it definitely is. I didn't even know that until one of my friends who has a job now in multimedia journalism. She was like, "Yep, I do it by myself. Nobody's there with me." And over time, as you get that experience, then
Yeah,
they'll allow you to have a team with you. But they want to throw you out there to get to know the ropes by yourself and being able
that's fair
to
enough.
rely on yourself instead of a full team all the time.
That makes a lot of sense. I have to say that it would be really nice to have a team to just handle all the stuff. I mean, do you prefer being so? Because you said you did the editing and some of the stuff behind the scenes. So do you prefer being in front of the camera or like behind the camera?
I I like both, and actually, for those who don't know and wanna get in the industry, when you do these packages out in the field in the real world, you actually also edit. So I also enjoy editing. So I get the best of both
Yeah,
worlds with being in front of the camera, being able to record, and also getting to edit my packages later on to then, be a part of a live cast for a new station.
that's very cool. All right, so that's what you're pursuing or passionate about. Why don't we start with the pageant question? Tell
Okay.
everyone watching how you got involved in the world of pageantry to begin with.
Okay, so I was watching Miss Universe and Miss USA with my grandpa and sometimes even my mom for as long as I can remember. And growing up, my mom actually came forward and she was like, I used to do pageants when I was, in my late teens. And she like showed me all her little trophies and stuff. And I was like, well, why am I not in this? And when I finally turned 18, I signed myself up for a pageant. It was 3 in the morning. I was watching some I was actually watching, some pageant, behind the scenes stuff that people were posting during their pageant experience through the weekend, and then I saw a little, it was like an advertisement that said, "Sign up for New York Teen USA," and I was like,
Wow.
okay, such a prestigious system. And I was like, let's do this. And I wasn't going into it with expectations or anything like that. I was going into it just to see, will I like this or do I just like watching it? And I did it. And it was actually right before COVID. And I didn't place or anything, which I was totally okay with. But like most pageant girls would say, we all got bit by the pageant bug. And from then on, we wanted to continue doing it. And then COVID happened right after, literally a
Yeah.
month after my first pageant ever, and I was like, "Okay, well, although this is such a difficult time, I'm gonna use this time to grow and, to gain confidence because I didn't have that confidence, going into my first pageant. I was faking it till you make it, and
Yeah.
after I realized that, I wanted to go into the classrooms and talk about confidence, but I had to become confident in myself to then teach others, how to start believing in themselves. And after those 6, 7 long months of quarantine, I started becoming more confident in myself, finding ways to boost my self-esteem, and I signed up for my second pageant, and the rest is history. And now I talk to girls about how to boost their self-esteem and how to believe in themselves regardless of how big that dream is.
Do you often make life-changing decisions at 3 a.m.?
Yes, I actually with the system, Miss High School America, I've been watching it for so long, but I was gonna be in the Miss division, so I was kind of dreading it. I was like, "Oh, I wanna be a teen forever." Miss scares me. But yes, it was also 3 AM, and I was watching it, and I was like, "What am I afraid of? Why am I gonna keep telling myself I can't do this or, I'm
Mhm.
not ready when I clearly can be if I put that, little hope and belief in myself." So in 2021 at 3 a.m., I decided that I was gonna pursue the dream of going to Miss Collegiate America. And I gave myself that time to, focus on, self growth and becoming confident enough in myself where I can, be able to be myself as a miss and not be afraid of, what the other girls are doing or having comparison, but having that confidence in myself that regardless that I can do it, and that's why I'm here, and I'm so excited that I finally just, let that dream come to life instead of regretting of that what if. What if I let myself do it?
When you make these decisions at 3 a.m., am I able to take from that that you have trouble sleeping? Like, are you an early bird or night owl or the middle, which is permanently exhausted pigeon? Like, which one of those three are you?
I'm definitely a night owl, but, during the school week, it's the pigeon for sure.
Right.
I go to bed really late and I wake up really early, but it's usually I'm doing homework at that time, but it was okay, it was in the summer when I was watching it, if that makes it any better, which it definitely doesn't, but
Not really. I mean, 3 a.m. is still 3 a.m. Let's be honest. You said you got bit by the pageant bug, and obviously that's a story I've heard before. But I want to ask, what particular part of pageantry got you hooked? Because for everyone, I feel it's a bit different. Whether it's the fashion, getting glammed up. For some people, it's more the inner work or the inner journey that happens, or the chance to actually make a difference and advocate. So, which part of pageantry got you hooked?
honestly, all of it, but what really what really got me into wanting to come back was the first time I stepped on a pageant stage was the first time I felt completely confident. When I walked onto the stage for the first time, I was like, "Whoa, like this is my moment." And it felt amazing because like a lot of girls don't get to feel that confidence
Mm.
prior, and I didn't feel that 100%. I When people were like, "Oh, you're so confident." I was like, "Yeah, yeah, okay." But when I stepped on that stage for the first time, that was the first time I was like, "Whoa, I like this and I like the way that I feel." So, that's why I wanted to come back, but I wanted to be confident on the stage and off. Even in the
Yeah.
interview room as well, having that confidence to get on that stage for anybody is extremely hard. So, for pageant girls, to step up on that stage, especially for the first time, it takes a lot of confidence. So, you know, but overall, that's exactly what started that journey for me, but also the impact that you get to make and, all the
Yeah.
little girls that you get to see along the way, looking up to you. And in the classrooms, I even get to give them my sash and crown. So they're like, I feel like a princess too, which is honestly so great, getting to make that impact, but also getting to see that you're being a role model for somebody else, and I never saw that. I never thought about it. I make an impact. I think I do, but really getting to see that in the classroom is, what makes it so surreal, which is why I keep doing what I'm doing.
Tell the people watching a little bit more about, I mean, you talked a lot about confidence, and I know from reading through your bio, but also your website, some of the experiences you've had in school with bullying. Trace for us sort of the confidence journey you've been through. So you already said when you entered pageantry at the beginning, you didn't have your confidence, and
Yeah.
at some point you began to develop it. So trace that journey for us, the confidence journey.
Okay, yeah. So I was always a confident and a very outgoing kid. Growing up with I do have siblings, but I grew up with my mom. They're my half siblings. So I technically kind of grew up an only child. So, when you're being an only child, it's either you're really confident and you're really social and outgoing, or you're very reserved and very quiet. I was a social kid. I made friends anywhere I went. But being bullied in middle school, took
Mm,
that confidence away because, when you get into the middle school age, you want everyone to like you. You want to feel like everyone wants to be your friend, everyone wants to like you and stuff like that. But, when you get those kids that don't like you and make fun of you, for being yourself, that's when your confidence starts to go down and you become
yeah.
more vulnerable. And as soon as people start hitting you more and more, that's when your confidence starts to go down even more to the point where you're at the bottom and you don't like the way you look in the mirror or you don't have that self-worth. So, going into high school as well, wasn't getting bullied at all, but, that confidence didn't really come back until pageants, and even that first step on that stage is when I finally, regained that confidence in myself. And grow since then, it's been growing and growing, and when I go into the classrooms and I talk about my platform and my journey, what I also like to talk about is you know, we are amazing the way that we are, and we're all different, yes, but that is what makes us unique. And I think a lot of times that's something a lot of people overlook because the things that make us different are the things that people make fun of us about.
Mm,
And that, when you talk to those kids in schools about making sure that, that the things that make us different is things that make us great and beautiful and amazing, that's when they start to realize, okay, well, I shouldn't start believing what everyone else says about me because I am great, I am amazing. And going off of that, that's when the confidence starts to go back up because once you have that little belief in yourself, that's when your journey to confidence starts to rise back up. And that's exactly what happened to me. I started telling myself, that I'm beautiful. That regardless of what happened in middle school, that's the experiences that happened then are not what define me now.
yeah.
And so that's something else that I like to talk to students about of all ages because your journey to confidence starts when you're really young and it's
Mm,
ever growing. And I also like to talk to them about the journey to confidence is also never ending. And it's because that we often grow and become these new, better versions of ourselves. And oftentimes, like, we're still learning to love ourselves, become ourselves, and through that, you gain confidence and you start to love every part of yourself. But it's also a never-ending journey because you keep on going, and
Exactly.
you're starting to love the new version of yourself, which I also like to talk about. But yeah, that's, my journey with confidence and a little bit of how I talk to kids at school about it.
Let's dig into the schools because you mentioned that a couple of times. So when you tell us what happens more. So you go into a school and you're talking to the kids about confidence. I assume you're sharing your journey. Now, is this your confidence to be kind? Is that
Yeah.
what this is part of? And then you go in there and I assume that you also show them maybe a book or two.
Yeah, so actually, I launched recently. So they're called Brave and Confidently You workshops. So it's a bit with the Brave platform, building respect and values for everyone, with my personal platform, Confidence Be Kind, creating Brave and Confidently You. And I actually made this book called Bella the Brave, which I'll share right
Gonna
now.
say, show us. Yep.
Yes, this is Bella the Brave. I recently just published this book. It's a great book that talks about the brave message and about being bullied in schools, and a lot of kids can relate to it. So with this, I also have the Bella the Brave interactive board, which is talks about not only brave, but what bullying is, how can we prevent it, and how can we create a safe and kind environment for everybody, along with a lot of self confidence building activities and as well as group activities with your classmates where we're able to learn to be kind to not only ourselves but to others. And these workshops actually are different for each grade level. So I have elementary workshops, middle school, high school, and even now working on even collegiate college workshops, which I'm super excited about. And the workshops are, continuously growing and ever changing. And I'm really excited to see where it goes with it.
Hold up the book again a little bit more. I want people to be able to see the book and maybe walk us through a little bit what was involved. So this is already your third published book.
Yeah.
Walk us through the journey, what it took to become a three-time published author, and tell people, Nicolette, tell people where they can buy it.
Oh, so this is not available yet. So this is actually the first
Okay.
prototype. But I'm actually working right now to make it published, even on Amazon. So it's a work in progress. This is actually my first prototype. It's a little messed up in the back. So it's my first one. We're still having to work some
I can
kinks
see it.
out, but
Yep.
yes.
Yeah, yeah.
But besides that, this is the first prototype, and I'm so excited to see where it goes next with the second one and then being published. So Bella the Brave, like I said, talks about the brave message, building respect and values for everyone. And it's about two girls that are starting middle school for the first time, and they're super excited to start sixth grade. One girl, Bella, she's actually really excited, but her friend Grace is not. She's a little worried about what's going to be going on in middle school, and she's afraid about fitting in with the older girls. And then she faces a form of bullying at lunch, which is verbal abuse, verbal bullying
Hmm.
from one of the other girls because she wasn't good at math. And then her friend, Bella, becomes brave and stands up to the bullies and lets them know about why this is not okay. How can we be mindful to others, especially with the words that we use and our actions, and, being brave for others as well. And we end the book with, being brave is my new superpower. And I actually have a little coloring sheet for the children afterwards that says, being brave is my superpower. And that's like a little boy and a little girl, superhero, and they get to color it in. And when I talk about brave with them as they're coloring it, I want them to also feel like, yes, being brave is a superpower and standing up for bullying is not doesn't make you weak. It's what makes you brave and what makes you strong. And a lot of times, even me, when I was bullied in middle school, I was afraid to come out to any of my teachers or even guidance
Yeah.
counselors because I was afraid of what was going to happen. But teaching the kids early on about being brave for yourself, but also standing up is what makes you brave. And we shouldn't be afraid to talk to an adult because that's the person that's actually going to make the situation a lot better.
Absolutely. Now, you sent me over this. Let's talk us through what's happening here. So this is just going to loop for us.
Okay.
What's happening here?
Oh, I have no idea. It's slow loading. Oh, yay. That's my transition.
So was that the first time you got to see your book?
Yes. So That was when it came in the mail for the I'm gonna tell you that took, like, 10 takes. So technically, it wasn't my first time seeing the package, um, but that was me seeing it for the first time, and it was, like, a little, like, transition coming out and seeing what was inside the package. And you also see in the video my interactive board, which I actually talk about, in the captions, which is the interactive brave board that, after I read the book called Belle of the Brave, I talk about exactly what's on the board. And it talks about, like I said, all the things that correlate with bullying and how we can prevent it in schools. And it's such a surreal thing because when I started out with my being Miss Florida Collegiate America, I kind of set out those goals for myself and what I wanted to do and how I was going to do it.
Yeah.
And one of my biggest things was writing another book because I wrote one in 2021 and I just loved the feeling of it. My second book ever was called Ashley's Virtual School, which I have here right next to me. Oop, I almost dropped it. Um, this one I actually yes, I did show you. So it's on Story Jumper. So this is actually available to purchase, but also available to read for free. So if you scroll down, like
Okay.
all the little kids in the comments were, talking about how much they like the book, which is honestly one of the greatest feelings ever, is getting to see the impact that it makes online. During COVID,
Yeah.
I wasn't really allowed, to go on and read to kids or go into
Yeah.
these classrooms. So through Story Jumper, I was giving a free resource for kids to read about. And I'm really happy that, it has almost 500 reads. So
Yeah.
basically,
That's
500
amazing.
children were able to, be impacted and be able to read this book. And seeing those comments, just makes my day knowing that, I made the book to create that impact and it was doing just that online, even if I wasn't physically reading it to them. But there
Yeah.
is an audio version. So, which you don't have to play because my voice is so bad in it. But yeah, so they have that audio version. So instead of, reading it to themselves, you can also hear me reading it to them online,
That's
which is incredible.
very nice. How does it feel? I mean, whether you get comments like that, I mean, there's one comment down there that I don't know if you saw it, I'm sure you saw, but your book really helped me. I get bullied a lot for no reason. And I'm sure that when you are giving the workshops in person, that some of the kids or some of the children, boys and girls, come up to you and, thank you and maybe share some of their stories and how you help them. How does that make you feel when you can see that you're really helping people in a very real way?
And honestly, it melts my heart. Actually, the other day, I also volunteer at an organization called Tribe, which is a classes for underprivileged children. So I teach a bracelet making class, but we also talk about Brave in it as well. And when I was just naturally having a conversation with one of the girls while we were making bracelets, I was asking her about her day and how it was, and she was like, "Well, today was not a good day because I was bullied." And I
Mm,
asked her to talk to me about it, and she opened up, being vulnerable, which is not an easy thing to do. Being vulnerable is probably one of the hardest things, especially to somebody that you don't know that, you don't know
yeah,
that well.
yeah,
And for her to open up and create that connection was really melting my heart in a way where I was able to show her that she could trust me and show her that, being bullied, you could talk about it. Being vulnerable is okay. And it's good that you're able to talk to it to somebody that can help make the situation better. And through that, I was able to talk to her about ways where, if it did happen again in the future, this is how you can fix it. And this is how
yeah.
you can safely stand up for yourself or even others if you see them being bullied as well. So she doesn't have to be a bystander to its situation either.
Amazing. We'll just show everyone at home your website as well. So this is Nicolette's website, confidence2bekind.wixsite.com. And there you can also find more about your platform, right? So you can
Yes.
see Brave here, for example, building respect and values for everyone, and then some material here about bullying. How long did it take you to put the website together, Nicolette?
Quite a while. So, it was in development since 2021, and I'm always changing up my website to make it as updated as I can. And one
Mhm.
of the greatest things about it is that weekly I post quotes. If you see at the end, they're inspirational and motivational quotes. So even if when I'm not in the classroom on Mondays, you'll get a new quote on my website and even on my Instagram, Confidence to Be Kind, where you'll get that instant motivation on Instagram. And it talks about self confidence. It could talk about, getting through, the hard Mondays or even the hard weeks. And I also have on Instagram as well, when it's not Motivational Monday, it's also self-love check-in, where we have these little affirmations that you can say to yourself in the beginning of the week to create, more positive day and a more positive week for yourself. So even when I'm not in the classroom, that's a way where I'm able to create that online community as well.
What would you most like to be remembered for? I mean, when it comes to the end of this reign, and there could be multiple reigns, who knows? And as you've already said, people grow over time and you might take on something else. But what, I guess, what would you like as the end result or end outcome from all your work on bullying?
I would love to be remembered by the person who was vulnerable and approachable. I think one of the biggest things, even with being a title holder, you want to be the person that no kid is afraid to come to about anything, even if it's like, this is my favorite color, or, something more serious along the lines of, I was bullied, can we talk about it? And I also want those kids, to see a little bit of themselves in me as well. Being a queen is more than just having that sparkly crown and sash, but making that impact in the classroom and being able to create those connections where people can be like, wow, like I see myself in her. And if she can do good things and big things, then I can too. Which is something that I really want kids to take away when they meet me is that
Mm.
authenticity, but also being approachable as well.
When your confidence was at its lowest, if you had seen fast forward to, for example, that photo that's on screen now, where you look super glam, super confident, like you can take on the world, do you think that you, when you're at the lowest, would have ever thought that one day you would become someone like this?
No, absolutely not. I think whenever anybody is in one of the lowest points when it's
Mm,
comes to their confidence, you never think that you can get back up to where you once were. And to see that, what I was and what I am now is honestly incredible. And it's, thanks to my pageant journey, but also, the village behind me as well, that has, propelled me to become this confident person where now I'm able to help those kids who were feeling the same way that I was once upon a
mm.
time.
What advice would you give yourself? The you now, if you were able to travel back through time and speak to you when you most needed someone to believe in you, what advice would you give yourself?
Ooh, wow. That's interesting. Okay. I think I would have to tell myself um to never give up. And I know that's cliche and I know we hear that saying a lot, but the thing is I think when you're in that lower point with your confidence where you just don't, completely love the person that you are,
Mm,
to tell yourself to never give up on those dreams because when it comes to your confidence, it's not just a physical aspect of confidence, but it's also the success part. Oh my God, I can't talk today. Success part of it as well, where it comes to, those big dreams that you have for yourself. But when you don't have that confidence, you're like, well, they're just dreams, and they're gonna stay that way. So telling myself to never give up would also tell myself, you know, never give up your confidence, but never give up on those big dreams. Because I was once that girl watching, the girls on TV making
yeah.
those impacts, getting those, the sparkly crowns and the banners, and being able to have that, fulfilling year and that fulfilling reign. And I never thought, honestly, that I would be where I am right now, being one of those girls that, are doing the same things that I used to watch when I was a kid.
Do you have any particular role models in pageantry who've really inspired you along your journey?
Ooh, hmm. I would say I really loved looking up to, actually met her Demi Tebow, which is a Miss
Hmm.
Universe. She was a former
South.
Miss
Yeah.
Universe. Yes, she was South Africa and won Miss Universe. Also Catriona Gray, who is Miss
Mm,
Philippines, but also
of
then
course.
became Miss Universe as well. They use their reign in such a way where they're able to make an impact long lasting, their reign, and they're
Mm,
always remembered by the things that they're able to do, but they still continue to do it after the ring, which is incredible because it just shows that you don't need a crown and a sash to
yeah.
make that impact, which is another thing I love to talk about in schools because when I made my book in the 4th grade, I didn't have a sparkly crown and a banner where I was able, to go out there and, do these big things, but I was able to do it regardless of having,
Yeah.
that title across my chest, which is amazing to show, the younger generations that yes, a big crown and a big sash is incredible and you have that microphone to have that impact made on your state and even across the country, but you don't need it to start that impact
Mm.
at any age.
I think that's very important because you can make an impact regardless of whether you have a sash and crown or not. Tell me more about the Collegiate America system. I have spoken to a few who've competed in it previously, but it like wasn't their current pageant, if that makes sense. They had competed in it before. You said that you were super excited to compete in it, and I like, for example, it seems a little different to me because you got this Brave platform, and obviously it's tied to the school system and the college system. So give us a brief overview of the Miss Collegiate America system and what really attracted you to want to compete in it in the first place.
Yeah, so the Miss High School America organization is a little different with even their age. So instead of
Hmm.
how old you are, it's where you are academically.
Yeah.
So for me, since I am in college, I represent the collegiate division. But if someone's in high school, they're high. And if they're in junior high, that's middle school.
Yeah.
And yes, with the Brave organization, that was one of the biggest things that attracted me to Miss High School America because I have such a close personal connection with the
Mm.
Brave organization. And what really drew me in is seeing that sisterhood. Pageantry is more than just a competition, which a lot of the people on the outside looking in really don't get to see. They just get to see the competition part, the on stage and the pretty gowns and the fun fashion. And but really, what makes a pageant is the sisterhood and the connection that you make along the way. And
Yeah.
getting to see that through, watching their old competition videos, but as well as their Instagrams, I was able to see not only the impact they were able to make on each other, but like as a whole system. And
Mm.
getting to see that they're able to grow together and they encourage each other and uplift each other, which I think is so, so important in pageantry. Is, regardless, one girl is going to walk away with that title, but
Yeah.
the journey is what you make of it. And even the pageant, that long week, make those friends. It's not just about, competing. Yes, it would be amazing if everyone could be crowned Miss Collegiate America, but sadly, only one person is. So being able to make the impact on each other during that week and creating those bonds that you forever, can look back on and say that, even if I didn't win, I still was able, to create those memories I'm going to be able to remember forever, which I think was one of the biggest things I was able to take away from the system. And, getting to see it from the outside looking in, is one thing, but now being able to be on that side of competing, you can feel the overwhelming love from the system and from all the girls, which is super incredible.
And when is it happening? It's in summer, is that correct? And it's in
Yes.
Little Rock, Arkansas?
It's actually a week after my birthday. So my birthday is June 19th, and I leave on the 26th to go to Little Rock. And we start on the 27th, and it goes all the way up to July 2nd. And then the third is when the girls who win will have like their crowning moments and their prize packages and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But you have this one long week filled of so many events. I'm so excited for them. We have an excursion day coming up, which you can have so many different activities to choose from, but I'm excited for zip lining. I've never been zip lining before, so I was able to not only visit a new state, which I love
Yeah.
traveling, so this is also a big plus. I'm getting out of Florida because we know a lot of pageants end up in Florida for nationals. So being
Yeah.
able to venture outside of Florida and go into Little Rock, which I would never see myself ever going to, so I'm excited to be able to go there for the first time and get to zip line. And I'm also going mining as well. which is super cool. I'm excited for
Mining.
that. Yes, so it's like this big
Like a
dirt
pickaxe.
pile. No, you get I don't think you get a pickaxe, but you get like these little things to like, break away the dirt. And I'm excited for that because you get like you collect like these little crystals that are embedded inside of like the rocks and stuff, and you get to like take
Oh,
them home with
wow.
you, which I
All
think is
right.
super cool. But besides that, they have hiking and yoga, and I even think a museum as well. Like you get to go visit the history
Right.
of Arkansas. But I'm excited for those two things because
Oh, absolutely.
I love being outdoors,
Yeah.
and I've never been ziplining. My parents probably are afraid of me doing this, but I'm excited. I'm excited to go because, it's something on my bucket list. I won't go bungee jumping, no, but this I will do.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. Bungee jumping. I mean, I've been skydiving and that's fine, but bungee jumping, I'm just always worried the rope isn't going to hold, or the rope is too long, or at the bottom my eyes are going to pop out. Zip lining sounds cool, but the mining, I've never. Are you sure you get to keep what you mine? You're not
I
going to
hope I
run
you know
away
what?
with some precious stones.
I'm Hey, I have never been. I'm only seeing what, my friends have told me from their experiences, but I'm pretty sure, I'm almost positive that we get to
Almost
keep
positive.
almost positive that we get to keep the things that we find. I hope we do because that would be something fun to remember by. When I was actually in Arizona recently and I was hiking and my mom was like, "Pick a stone, pick a stone." I was like, "Why?" She was like, "Well, we're gonna remember this by the
Mm.
rock." And I was like, "Okay." But now I get it because I would love to take home the stuff that I find when I mine because then I get to look back like, "Oh wow, I actually mined for this in Little Rock, Arkansas," which I think would be super cool.
You sure they're not using you to find the stones to put in the crown? I mean,
You
there's
know
always
what?
stones in the crown, and
You know what?
the crown is made up of stones from the girls from last year.
Maybe. I have no idea. I'll let you know when I get there, and I'll let you know if we get to keep the stuff, which I hope we do. Maybe it is the stones for the crown. Who knows?
Well, that would be a much more of a story, wouldn't it, than just getting rhinestones from who knows where. But what's the competition week going to be like? So obviously you said they're going to be the excursions. What are the different sections that you'll be competing in?
Yeah, so they have interview, of course,
Hmm.
fun fashion, and we have evening gown as well. And then finals, you recompete if given that final placement,
Hmm.
and then you get the final question as well. Which I'm excited for the week, but I'm also excited for those events prior to the competition. We have so many glamorous events that we get to go to. There's a white parade, which is semi new to the system. I think will be the second time this
Hmm.
summer they'll be doing it. So we dress in white and we ride in cars and we have like this little parade and we like throw stuff out if you choose to, which is
Oh
super
wow.
fun. I know I've never had that before. I've never been in a parade, so this is exciting as well. But yeah, so I'm gonna buy a Florida flag and have it like sit behind me to represent Florida. Not just, wearing my crown and my sash. And then we also have a banquet night. Well, we have this red carpet. So the first thing that we do is we dress up in like either cocktails or long evening gowns, and we walk this red carpet, and we have like
Oh,
our little celebrity moment, and then we do silent auctions as well, and then just eat and dance with your family and have like the best time. And then we also, for the first time, are having luncheons as well, which given by our gracious sponsors. So I've never been to a luncheon, so I'm excited for that. It's actually I've been to kind of. It was like a senior luncheon with like family, if that
yeah.
counts. But I'm excited to see how this one is. And then we also get a at registration, we after we register, we get to see all the sponsors on sponsor row.
Hmm.
That's what it's called. We get a little fun like it's a photography session with Brittany Link Photography,
Hmm.
and we have like this theme. I don't know what the theme is yet. I'm excited to see what it is. And we have this photo shoot where she shoots all the girls, which that's another thing I'm really excited about as well. So it's a fun week ahead before competition, which I'm excited about.
I'm excited the fact that the pageant's actually feeding you. Sometimes pageants, you go without getting any food. Sounds like they're going to be taking care of you,
Oh
which
yeah,
is
they
a
are.
welcome refresh. Have you had a chance to chat to any of your sister queens, the ones that you're going to meet there, and have you made any sort of best friends online, or have you met any of the girls previously?
So actually, I'm pretty sure I met one of the girl. Yes, I have met one of the girls before, and I'm really excited to get to see the girls that I have met in the past, but also the new ones. We have a group chat on Snapchat, and we have a group meeting with all the girls, where our Miss Collegiate America is able to talk to us, answer any questions, but also allow us to get to know each other. I do Snapchat a few of the girls as well, so like we have like this streak. I'm really bad with Snapchat. So, like, there's days where I don't respond for, like, 2 days, but it's okay. But overall, yes, I have met, a few of the girls, but also I'm also meeting them online as, the competition gets closer, which I'm excited about.
Can you tell me what people use Snapchat for, just on a random question? Because I don't understand it anymore. I haven't used it like for years. I have it still on my phone and I'm thinking about deleting it. Well, what do people use Snapchat for now?
Just to update people on a random, like, things that they're doing. Like, I post, sometimes when I'm on vacation, or I'm a big foodie, so I'll post, like, the fun foods that I get when I'm out at restaurants. I also have, like, this private story for, like it's like pageant behind the scenes, so whatever you don't see me post on my Florida Collegiate page, you'll see me
Right.
post on Snapchat, which is super fun. But yeah, I used to use it all the time for, like, Snapchat
Yeah.
streaks, and I was
Yeah.
that kid where if my phone got taken, like, I would text me from like, "Here's my password. You need to get all my streaks in for me." There'd be like
Jeez.
70 days,
Yeah.
200, 500. But
Yeah.
now I'm like, "What was I thinking?" Like, I cared so much about Snapchat streaks. I never could understand why it was so, like, such a big thing when I was younger. But now I just barely use it. I go on to, like, mingle with, like, all the girls, but
Yeah.
also, talk to a few of my friends as well, like, send them random pictures throughout the day. But besides that, I barely use it.
Well, I mean, as you know, I recently got frozen out of my own socials, and so I couldn't access any of my social accounts. So here's an interesting question. How long do you think you could survive without your phone for? Well, not survive, but how long would you be okay with not having access to your phone? A day, a few days, a week?
I This is bad. I would say I couldn't last that only because with being Miss Florida Collegiate, I always love to, that's a job, it's a 365-day job. So I would love, to keep posting, but I could last without it for a little bit. I got my phone taken away when I was younger quite a few times, so I had to learn to live without it. Uh, but I could definitely live without it. But if it wasn't for having the collegiate, that job on Instagram, then I would say I could last a few days. I would say I
That's
a
a
few
lot.
days. A few days.
That's a
Some people
lot.
can't. I know some people can't go hours without it. So I
Some
feel like
people
that's
can't go 5 minutes with, they can't go to the bathroom without their phone.
well. Hey, look, right now we're not on our phones, so I think we're doing a pretty great job so far. Mine's like somewhere over there on do not disturb. So yeah, I think I'm doing pretty good.
This is true. This is the only reason I jump on the interviews is so I can't use my phone. Um, Nicolette, just before we move to the close and the final 10, anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Oh, wow. I'll give a shout out to I know my friends are watching, so I'll give out a shout out to all my friends that are big supporters. They're actually the first people that got to read Bella the Brave. I did like a little reading with them because they were there actually when I did that little transition video.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I'm so excited. And they're like, congratulations, now read it for us. And I was like, You're serious? And they were like,
Yeah.
yeah, like pretend we're one of your students and we are gonna listen to you read it to us.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened. And so big shout out to them. And then of course, family as well. Wouldn't be here without them. And, to all my sister queens, a big shout out to them as well. I'm excited to meet all of them this summer.
One more random question. How
Okay.
strong is your transition game?
I would say it's getting pretty strong. I used to be confused on why everyone used TikTok, when they would like post it 24/7 and post her reels. And
Yeah.
I was like, what's the importance? And now that I'm doing it, I was like, I love it. I think
Yeah.
it's so fun. It's a fun way to like show what you're doing besides just a picture. And, picture lots of thousand words, but you get to also, with these reels, you get to see the behind the scenes of making those certain things happen or even traveling as well. I love to watch those. So I think my transition game is pretty strong now. It's taken a while, but I think it's getting there.
Okay, rank the social platforms in order of which one you like the most or use the most to the ones you use the least.
Okay. I like I wanna say TikTok is number 1. It's like TikTok and Instagram. I like TikTok because I go on it and I watch a lot of funny videos.
Okay,
It's
so
entertainment. It's one that I use
TikTok.
most often. Instagram is number 2.
Okay,
I would
and
say
then
Snapchat's number 3, but I
okay,
barely use it. Let's see.
what
Fa
about Facebook or
Facebook's
Twitter?
I don't use Twitter anymore. I don't know, I grew out of that phase once I got out of high school. I stopped using it altogether. I think my
Yeah.
account's deleted now. I don't know. Deactivated or deleted, one or the 2. So I would say that's at the bottom because I don't really use it. Would B.R.A.V.E. count as,
And I'll ask about Be Real.
yeah,
I used
I
Be Real for a while and then I stopped.
so did I. I'm gonna be honest. Like, my friends have to remind me, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah, we'll do it." But if I'm like B-Girl catches me at the worst times. I'm in my bed, I'm just waking up,
Oh
and
yeah,
it's 9 AM, and it's like, I can't do that.
that's the
You
thing
don't wanna
with
see
Be
me at
Real.
9 in the morning.
Well, I don't want to see anyone else at 9 in the morning either. But it's such a weird thing because it will just ping at a random time, and you're like in the shower or you're driving the car or having a workout, and it's like if I understand like Be Real, but I'm real on most of my other socials, and if there's something I don't really want everyone to see, then I just post it to my close friends story. So for me, Be Real, I liked it at the beginning, and I was on a streak, and like you, I didn't want to lose my streak, but then I lost it. I've even deleted it from my phone. So.
I don't even use
Oh,
it. I get the notification, it's like, 40
yeah,
people have just posted, I'm like, "Oh,
yeah, don't.
40 people can post, it's fine."
I
I
just
I
ended
ver
up posting photos of my cat, if I'm honest.
My friend does that. She loves posting pictures of her cat on there, which I think are super funny. For me, I literally post the randomest things. If I post a B-reel, it's like me with all my friends and we're doing something fun. Like I actually just posted a B-reel. It was like 2 weeks ago about
Mhm.
me. It was actually went off when I was filming for YouTube, UTTV, and I just did a behind the scenes of all of us. So that's the most recent time I did it. But besides that, yeah, I don't really
Yeah.
use B-reel anymore either. So it's also ranked right where Twitter is, at the bottom.
Okay. And I have to ask one more final random question, and then we'll get to the final 10. You mentioned that you're a foodie, so quickly, favorite foods?
Okay, you're gonna think this is weird, but I love stuffed artichokes. They're my favorite. Like, you probably expected pizza or, like, pasta, but nope,
Pasta, yeah.
stuffed artichokes.
Sushi. Stuffed artichokes. Stuffed with what?
So it's stuffed with breadcrumbs, garlic, olive oil, and some other seasonings. So good. If you ever go to New York, it's called Patricia's. So good.
Wow.
I think they make my dad every Thanksgiving and every Christmas. My dad's
Okay.
like, "All right, this is what you're. We already know what you want." Especially, I think was it Christmas that you can't eat meat on Fridays or like something like that. Or right
Easter.
before
Easter, I think
it's
Good
Easter, but
Friday or
also
something like that.
no, it's also something with Christmas as well, where we can't eat meat, it's like a fish day, and I don't eat fish, and my
Yeah.
dad's like, "Okay, what are we gonna make for you?" And I was like, "Stuffed artichokes. That's the one thing I'll eat." And so, like, everyone else is eating fish on Christmas or, like, right before Christmas, and I'm in my corner with my
Artichokes.
stuffed artichokes.
Is it like fried?
No. No, so you put it in a pot, like, you
Yeah.
stuff it, and you, like, put all the seasoning and stuff in it, you put it in a
Yeah.
pot to, like, cook, and then as it cooks, it just, like, opens like a flower,
Oh.
and it's really good. They do fry it, but I prefer it just, like, regular stuff cooked in a pot, call it a day.
Oh, wow. That actually
Re
sounds nice. I wouldn't mind trying that. Sounds like a bit like
re
stuffed zucchini flowers, but,
Ooh, those sound good.
those are nice too. You can have those fried. They're battered on the outside and like feta cheese on the inside. Those are really, really nice. I'm
Mhm.
getting hungry now. Let's move to the final 10. Here we go.
Okay.
Number 1, what is your favorite word?
Ooh, okay. This is something I use most recently. I say love a lot. Like, "I love this," or "That's great, love," and I'm like, I say love the most, so I would say that that's one of my favorite words right now.
Number 2, what is your least favorite word?
Ooh. I'm guessing a lot of people say it. I mean, I don't hate it, but I don't love it. Moist?
Least.
Like, moist is just an odd word to say. I don't know. When people say it, I look at them, I was like, "Ooh, can we say another word?" But yeah, that's definitely one that it's not my favorite
Okay.
word.
Okay. Number three, in life, what gets you excited? What turns you on?
Ooh, it gets me excited. I What gets me excited is honestly, like we talked about before, the impact, on the kids and getting, to put the crown on them and the sash on them for the first time and getting to see their eyes light up. That's one of my favorite things to do. And you go getting to talk to the kids and really seeing the impact that you make on them, even just from an hour interaction with the class or even like a few minutes on one. And I think, yeah, even the crown and sash, getting to see their eyes light up is one of my favorite things that I get excited about seeing all the time when I go into classrooms.
Okay, so that was number three. What turns you on? Question four, what turns you off?
Ooh, what turns me off? Hmm. I I don't like dishonesty. That's one of or like when people don't support others just to be spiteful.
Mm.
I don't like that at all. And I think like we should just support each other whether, you want to or not. Just, be nice to them. I don't like negativity. It's not nice.
Number five, what sound or noise do you love?
I don't know why the first thing that popped into my mind, I don't know if you ever watched Avatar,
Mm.
but the second one, The Way of Water, I have their soundtrack, so I love listening to that. Those are, like, my favorite sounds. It's not even music, it's literally just, like, random sounds that, put in the background of the movie. I listen to it while I read, which is, I know, one of the weirdest things ever, but
Oh, okay.
it's my favorite thing.
Is it like sort of ambient sounds like water and like you used to be able to listen to like whale music and things like that? So it's sort of like background sounds?
It's like that, but it's also, like, when you watch the movie, like, the opening where it has, it's like a bunch of instruments, so it's, like, very, like, mellow, and I don't know how to explain
Okay.
it, but it's, like, one of my favorite things to do while I read is listen to it.
Okay. Number six, what sound or noise do you hate?
Snoring. Literally, I can't my dad snores all the time. And the first time we ever went on vacation, we went to Disney and we shared a room, and I didn't think anything of it. Like, I don't think I've ever really heard him snore that bad before until I actually was in the room with him. I woke up, like, I had to wake up, take the remote, put it on 100, the volume, and then I woke up, I had pillows like this, and I was sleeping like that over my ears. It was so bad. I It's like when people say, like, the nails scratching on a chalkboard, like, that's
Yeah.
what it feels like to me when I hear people snore.
You weren't tempted to just get the pillow and throw it at him?
I tried, he didn't wake up. I when I told him, he was like, "I didn't feel a thing." I was like, "Okay." And then we
Yeah,
had to
no,
get
no
earplugs for
kidding.
the rest of the vacation.
No. Poor guy. All right, number seven, if you could have any one superpower, what would you pick and why?
Okay. I love the idea of time traveling, but I also love the ability to fly because, like, I love to travel, I love to travel for free. We all know how expensive any ticket would be.
Yeah,
So being able to fly, be able to travel anywhere, that's at, like, the tip of my fingers, I think that would be incredible.
nice. Number eight, what job other than your own would you most like to attempt?
Ooh. When I was younger, I thought I was gonna become a singer or an actress. It didn't work out. My acting career began and ended with a Shakespeare play, Romeo and Juliet, in the 5th grade, and that was it. But
Okay.
if I would love to do that. That's definitely something I would love to do if I had the skills to do it.
What role did you play that ended your acting career the same night it begun?
I played Lady Capulet, so
Oh,
that was
okay.
just the mom of
Yeah.
Juliet. I loved it, I had a lot of fun, I just knew that just wasn't something some people have that natural gift, but I was also I'm probably judging myself too hard, I was, like, 10 when I made
Okay.
that play, so, definitely, I just don't think I could ever act, my facial expressions always give it away so I don't think it's
Okay.
for me, but I definitely would love to if I could.
What job would you definitely not like to attempt?
Ooh. Hmm. There's something I had in my brain and it just went away. I don't think I could I don't think I can ever do like, I wanted to do marine biology, like, just to, like, be with the animals, but I have a fear of the ocean. So you can never catch me doing any job that revolves around me being in the ocean. I'm afraid of deep and dark water. I've seen, like, all, like, these scary movies where, like, something just pops out in the water. So, definitely not anything that revolves around deep, dark water, for sure.
How do you feel about giant waves and tsunamis? That's what gives me nightmares.
Tsunamis, I feel like that would give anybody nightmares. Giant waves, how big are we talking about? Like, Hawaii,
100
like those.
feet.
Okay, yeah, no, that scares me.
Like when you're on the cruise ship and the night sky disappears and you don't hear anything, and it's just because there's a giant wave there that's about to hit you.
Um,
That's what my nightmares are.
yeah, that just reminded me of the Titanic with the iceberg, like, it was silent, there was nothing boom, iceberg,
Yeah.
everyone's down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
no,
you're then you're in the ocean. You're
oh,
freezing and there are sharks. No.
no, I can't that's literally exactly, anything with water just scares me, like, anytime I go to the beach with my friends, like, I wanna go in so bad, but if I can't see the bottom,
No, I'm exactly the same. I'm
I
exactly the
you just
same.
won't
I
see me
love the
in there.
beach. I love the beach. I love the sound of the water, but I do not want to go in
Yeah.
because I
I'm
can't
also
see
afraid of
what's there.
jellyfish. Exactly. And jellyfish, you can't see them half the time. And my
Mm.
friend got stung, and I was like, "And I'm out,
Oh,
and I'm going back to the
yeah.
shore." That's literally
Yeah.
scared me. So,
We have
jell
some really bad jellyfish here in Australia. There's one that's so
mhm.
bad that if it stings you, you go into shock and you want to die because the pain is so bad. And the worst part is it's kind of transparent, so you can't see it. So we've had cases where people jump off the end of piers or walls and then just jump right into the middle of jellyfish tentacles. And I'm like, nope, okay,
Oh
not
my
doing
god.
that.
Oh
If I
my
can't
god.
see what I'm jumping into, I'm not jumping into it. I don't think
I
that's a
don't
phobia. I think that's just common sense, isn't it?
yeah. There was actually a time where I went to, Fort Lauderdale with my friends, and we went to the beach, and man of war were everywhere. I don't know if you've
Oh
ever
yeah,
seen
yeah.
what it looks like. So scary. Their
Yeah,
tentacles
yeah.
are like
They're huge.
they're humongous, and we were like, "We're so excited to go to the water, it's so hot outside."
Yeah,
I see the
no.
kid get stung, he was a little
Ugh.
kid, and he was screaming for, like,
Oh,
literally
yeah.
for hours, and I was like, "You know what? I'm gonna sit right here on the shore."
Yeah.
And we didn't go back in because they were dead, but they're also live ones in
They
the
still
water close
sting.
to shore. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it's scary.
Why on earth would you want to go in when there are things like people go, "Oh, you're phobic of the water." It's like, "No, it's just common sense. There's jellyfish there. I
Literally.
don't wanna." Anyway, I don't understand that. So we have that fear in common, and I know there's quite a few people who love the water, but if they can't see what's in it, they ain't going in it, and I think that makes a lot of sense, especially here in Australia where we have a thing called sharks. So, you know,
We
let's
do too.
yeah, yeah, ours are well,
Big
yeah, they're nasty. Let's just say that they'll take a giant chunk out of you. Final question: if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Wow, that's such a good question. These are great. I would love to hear the words, "I'm proud of you." I think that's, like, the first thing that popped in my head. You have, like, this purpose and this plan that you're supposed to, fulfill. So, like, getting to hear the words, "You did it, like, I'm so proud of
Mm,
you," is definitely something that, is such an amazing thing to hear, especially, you know, at the gates of heaven. That's
yeah.
what made you come up with that question?
Oh, these are sorry to disappoint you. These aren't my questions. These are if you, they trace back, I think, almost 100 years. There was
Oh,
I
wow.
think it goes back to a French interviewer who wanted a bunch of questions that were deceptively simple, as in they sound simple, but the way the person answers them and the answers they give really give you a good insight into that person's personality. And then there was talking about acting. The late great James Lipton had a show called Inside the Actors Studio and had every actor under the sun there. Bradley Cooper, Robert Downey Jr., Robin Williams, the late Robin Williams. And he decided he would use those same 10 questions to finish his interview. And I just love them so much. I took them and applied them to pageant land. And honestly, it's some of my favorite answers are at the very end when I ask these 10 questions and just get to hear your guys' answers. The last one in particular is a really interesting one. Sometimes some people don't really have much of an answer to it. It's a bit too deep. But yeah, that one, I think the one at the end about God, I think that's probably the most thought-provoking. And I've gotten some really interesting answers to that. So
Yeah, I love that question, but yeah, I definitely wish
take
you
it.
were you're proud of
Take it.
you. Yeah,
It's
exactly.
when you're doing your news anchoring or you're interviewing someone, take it. They're not mine. Steal them. You have my
I mean,
blessing.
here's 10 questions. Be on the street. What would you like to hear God
Yeah,
say to you as soon as you the gates of heaven? I would love to hear what other people have to say about it. I feel like everyone have a different, saying, an opinion about what he would say.
exactly. That's what I mean. Some people answer it like in a funny way. Some people don't really have an answer. Some people have really deep answers. And it's also interesting to see whether people believe in an afterlife or not. Obviously, I like to believe in it just because I like to think this is not the only thing that we have. But yeah, they're not mine. So steal them, borrow them, improve on them as you will. Well, Nicolette, that's about it. Thank you so much for coming on.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
And best of luck with the pageant, with the career, and keep doing the good work, keep making an impact. I'll keep you on the line, just also hang out with the audience. Thanks to everyone for watching or listening, and we will speak to you next time. Bye for now. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Sorority Access is now open, so if you'd like to join an amazing group of women and learn how to be the most powerful, confident, and impactful queen possible, head to thepageantsorority.com. I'll see you there and see you in the next video.